So, Dave, let's start with I want us to go back to the point in your life. Let's go there in your mind. What was the point you decided, right? Enough's enough. I need to start working on myself. I've had enough. I want to start getting some help or doing whatever, right? What was that point? Where were you at? What were you doing?
So it was 2023. I remember it vividly. I'd come back from it was I've been on a family holiday to Turkey, Fethiye, and I remember just looking back through some of the pictures, and there was one particular one I think I've tried to recreate. If anyone's ever seen Casino Royale, and Daniel Craig comes out in the little, he's just looking absolute beast mode. I tried to recreate that, and on the day when I did it, I was feeling good, and I seen the pictures. There's like, you know what? You've actually been. It was like a some. It was like what's the word? Like the veil had been lifted. Up until that point, I'd sort of had a manufactured view of myself, and I when actually I saw the. I don't know why that particular picture did it for me, but I saw the picture. I had moves. I had a bit of a gut, and I was like, "No, you're better than this." And it was that point where I thought, "No, I need to reach out because what I've been doing and what I thought I knew isn't going to get me to where I want to be, sort of thing." So I think I messaged you the same week to say, Kieran, I need your help. I don't know what I'm doing.
Class. Good, mate. It's funny, text kind of, you know, everyone's got their own point of this was the point, but yours was you trying to be James Bond and realized, you
I'm
know,
nowhere near it yet.
classmates. So at that point, goals wise, what was the goals in your mind? Because obviously you've came so far, no doubt like the recent more so goals were never a goal back then. What was your goal back then?
The goal was just to be happy with the shape that I was in. Um, I can't remember what I would have exactly said to you, but I just knew I didn't want to look like that anymore. But I think the deeper thing was it was a lot more on what I've discovered in the journey. I'm sure we'll touch on later. It wasn't really about, yeah, looking good is great, but it's feeling good. It's feeling good, and like that's that's what you get out of this. So at the time, I sort of attributed feeling good to looking a certain way, but it was more about just feeling good, being confident in myself in every situation. But yeah, so I think I literally just set the goal of this time next summer, I wanted to be in better shape. I wanted to be ripped up, essentially.
Hmm. Did you ever think you'd be in the shape you are, feeling like you are when you first started?
Not in a million years, mate, because again, it's what you know, isn't it? So in my head, to get to where I am now, I'd set that off to people who like their schedule is completely different to mine. They bodybuild or whatever. Like I just set that as something that wasn't achievable for me. So in my mind, to be honest, I was probably just thinking of getting back to a time when I had been in better shape, maybe before COVID, before I'd had my daughter, that sort of thing.
So at that point, you were just thinking, get back to how I used to be, and I'll be happy. Where,
Yeah, that was
you
it. There was literally no expectation. I was probably, to be honest, if I'd got back to there, I'd have probably said, right, Sankey in a bit, and then I would have been back in a year or two down the line when it had all gone to shit again. So
yeah,
yeah,
cool, man. Um, Random question, but I think it's always a good one, like to throw on people's toes. Is there anything that you've learned that you didn't really expect to learn? Because obviously you first started out with, I just want to get a bit leaner, I want to maybe learn a bit more about food, have a bit of accountability, improve my training a little bit. But obviously we both know they're the surface level things. So is there anything that you've learned along your journey or got that you didn't expect to learn or get?
yeah. Well, obviously obviously the training aspect of it, that's a given. I've learned a lot more about training. I'm comfortable in any gym that I walk in now. But it's deeper than that. I've learned a lot more about myself, about my limits, what I can do. I think that's the biggest thing about this. Before I was, and I didn't know this, but I'd sort of got into someone who was very comfortable. I didn't really, if there was anything that didn't fit into my sort of neat, I didn't want to do it. I'd find excuses not to do it. Um, but now I actively, and don't get me wrong, you still get butterflies sometimes, or when you're going into situations you're not comfortable with. But the difference is now I sort of thrive off that and I'll throw myself into it anyway. Whereas in the past it was sort of an excuse, I won't go near that. And then also just I'm now at the point where I can completely change my lifestyle. Like little things, alcohol. I've never given up alcohol for a long period of time. This year I've done 7 months. Yeah, so stuff like that. It's just been changed. My determination, being able to stick with something, like stick with one thing, like consecutively for months, even when it's hard. That's something that I've never been able to do. So, and it's influenced all aspects of my life in terms of determination, grit, being able to see something from like a thought in here right to the end result, and then also being able to push past. Because I think for me, I always had struggled with, you've got a goal, and then never mind even completing that goal, but then getting far past, like, so yeah, those things for me have been the most invaluable. The being in good shape or feeling good is sort of second to none. And also a lifestyle thing. I think that changing lifestyles, because when you start on this journey, when I started, it was just trying to get one particular thing, but I've completely changed my lifestyle into a better version, and I'm constantly able to do that over and over again. Where
Class.
before I struggled to do that.
Let's talk about that then, mate. So, what was your lifestyle before, and what have you changed and made better, and what is it like now?
Well, I don't want to complicate the situation for anyone who doesn't know me, but before I started this, like I was married, I was in a relationship, but things had already started going a bit downhill. The things in the background that maybe hadn't been brought to light, and the more I started this journey, the more there were certain standards that I wasn't, willing to let go. And coming through that, I'm actually in the stranger than a lot of people. Like when I say, like they ask the question expecting a certain answer, and when I'm asked like how are you feeling, it's like literally I'm in the best place of my life. Like I know myself so intimately. Like I know who I am, what I want, what my life is about, what it should be about. And I'm in the best shape mentally, physically. So yeah, that's what's changed really. Lifestyle wise as well, I'd sort of, and this is a big thing, not to go off on a tangent, and yeah, Keith, feel free to clip it where you want to.
No, go
But
on, mate.
I know so many people who, and again, being in a relationship is great. I'm not against relationships. I'm sure I'll be back into one soon enough. But a lot of people hide behind, like, if you take away that relationship, who are you? Um, and like a lot of people settle into that dad bod, and they just get comfortable, and then over time, you're not really happy with yourself, and then you're just in something just because. Um, so yeah, and that's where I was, just sort of ticking the boxes, but not really like thriving. Relationship wasn't thriving. I wasn't thriving, and I just sort of settled into that. How old am I now? 34. So that was 2 years ago. 32. Yeah. So at the age of 32, I'd sort of settled into like, this is life. This is it now for the next 20 years. And there's so much more to stuff. So yeah.
Class, man. Great advice. Um, let's have a look at actual progress then. Like we've talked
Mhm.
about kind of feelings and life and all that sort of stuff. What weight were you? Let's get some kind of figures down. So, like for example, what weight were you when you first started on this journey?
So I can't remember the exact weight, but I was pushing the high 80s. So like maybe around the 85 kg mark, I think would
And
be fair.
then obviously you recently completed a photo shoot. Can you remember what you were on photo shoot day?
But photo shoot, I was like 70 kg, 70. So like I never got to that like 70 on the dot, but it was like 70.4, 70.5.
And what
So
are you
yeah,
sitting at now?
still around the 70. To be honest, I'm probably a
Are
bit
you
lower.
still around 70? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm still around the 70.
Wow. Well done. To
Yeah.
keep that weight down, when was the photo shoot? Like 3, 4 weeks ago?
Actually, no. To be fair, I'm probably not. I'm in the 70s, but it won't be as low as I would have put some weight on. Yeah.
Mm. You're still looking just as good as what
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you said, lean.
I'm still lean as ever, but I've definitely put on weight now that the calories have gone up.
Mm,
But it'll still
mm,
be in the it'll still be in the low 70s, just
mm.
not like 70 point nothing, maybe 71, 72.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
next out really like, but the yeah, class man. So when you first started calories wise, or you didn't know what you
No,
were
sorry,
eating, no, go on.
to be honest, the last since checking, I've not really like I've not consistently checked my weight. But yeah, to be fair, I'm probably like when I have checked it, it's been at like 70.1,
So
70. So
it's
like I'm
still
probably
looking
yeah,
about there. Yeah.
I'll still be in like the high seven, like 70 point something. Yeah,
Ah,
so I'm still like pretty low.
taking into account
Um,
daily fluctuations, mate, you're basically in the same position.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah.
Class man. So with calories then, like we have went up and down, up and down, up and down over the journey. And I think one point you were on, what was the highest calories we were on again?
I think we got to
3,000-ish?
like we definitely got to 3,000, maybe slightly above, maybe 3,250. I think.
320 to 3,250.
Yeah, I think that was the highest we got to.
And then obviously going to photo shoot level, that's like, as I was saying to you at the time, like, you know, you're basically in the athlete category. We can't do anything by halves. We have to go a little bit extreme, etc., etc. And obviously not everyone wants to do a photo shoot, but to take it to that extreme, we had to go down to about 1,500-ish, 1,600-ish. And then where you at now? Back up to
I'm back up to 2,000 if I feel like it on rest
Mhm,
days, and then 2,000. No, no, that's a lie. 1,800 on rest days,
mhm.
2,500 on training days.
Cool. And to be honest, I'd like to get them a little bit higher, but you just haven't got the appetite at the moment. Have you? Like, you're happy on the amount of food you've got?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
for now.
cool. So I think it won't be that long before we are, especially that once we get to work on the training element, improve the quality of that, it won't be that long before you're on 3,000 again. But where previously when you were on 3,000, you had high level of body fat, where now you'll be on 3,000 with a low level of body fat.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So, um, what about other metrics, other progress metrics? So like outside of the gym, like confidence. Couple of weeks, couple of check-ins ago, you said about you're confident in any situation or in any area or something along those lines.
Yeah, so I hadn't realized this, mate. Because I've always like from a kid, like I've always been an outgoing person. Going into teenage years, I've always been an outgoing person, very sociable person. But I didn't realize that a lot of my confidence actually came from like, um, especially in your earlier years, a lot of social stuff happens on nights out. And what's on a night out? A drink. So when you take that away on a day-to-day basis, I wasn't actually like the most confident person. Do you know what I mean? And my confidence just skied through the roof. And I think the biggest thing from that is like it's not even it's just that it's naturally exuded, if that makes sense. People just notice it straight away.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I feel like what's the word? I've got a more attracting energy now because of my confidence. Like people are just drawn in rather than trying to like outwardly like attract, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But
100%, mate. Yeah,
yeah,
you'll probably just be carrying yourself a
yeah, just
lot
the
more
way like
confidently.
even just a posture. Like I remember like that first one of the first pictures when you asked me to just upload them, like I'm all hunched, like it's just everything, mate. Like everything's changed. I'm able to hold conversations with people, like especially like with women. I'm able to just look any girl in the face, doesn't matter how fit she is. Like I don't need to be 5 pints in, and it's just a great feeling, and not also like just the bravado confidence, just confidence in any situation. Oh, there's a gym, like I'm in Oxford for a couple of days. Like, go to this gym. Oh, Key, like I'm around here. What's the best gym? Dave, go to this old school gym. Sound. Oh, I'm not too sure what to eat on the menu. What's best? And then just do like any situation I'm in. Like I'm able to deal with it. Whereas before, my brain would be screaming like, just give me an excuse not to do this because it's not something I know. It's not comfortable. I don't want to do it. Sort of thing.
Yeah, right, man. Love it, love it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the photo shoot because obviously that was something which you never set out originally to do one. It kind of came up and we talked about it, and like, I kind of really tried to get in your mind around, look, like if you're gonna do one of these, we have to go all out and do it properly because we
Hmm.
probably won't do another one in a long time. Let's like,
Yeah.
really, really go all out with it. What did you learn across that little journey about yourself, more importantly?
I learned I'm not a quitter because there were times I wanted to quit, and I've learned that it's sometimes a bit of naivety is good. Um, because if I truly knew what a photo shoot entailed at the time when I agreed, at that time I probably wouldn't have done it, mate. Because what I thought was hard work wasn't hard work. Like what you've got to do to get to that level is insane. But yeah, I learned that I don't quit, and actually when things get harder, my resolve just grows. But through that process as well, there was a lot of stuff that I had to cut out. Um, like we went carnivore diet, cut out carbs at one point. Like I had to really like limit my right up until obviously like I'd quit drinking anyway, but up until that point, it was really like, well, even if you were thinking about going back to it, you can't. It's not worth going back to it now. Social events, I just had to completely limit. Like it got to the point where like if it wasn't work, if it wasn't like being a dad or the gym, I can't do it. So it really taught me to appreciate those things on the other side. Now my relationship with food is so good. Like my relationship with just everything is just a healthier point because I've made it through such a hard journey and I'm at such a peak point in my life that I thought I'd never get to. I wouldn't want to go back to before. So that means keeping those high standards. So yeah, I think the photo shoot for me was transformative in terms of the amount of work it took to get myself to the best point I could be in that space of time has really just made me value to get to like these highest levels. You've really got to put the work in, and then once you're there, there's transferable skills that I can use across everything. Um, so now we're sort of in uncharted waters. I've never been this lean, and then building from here, and now we're at the point where we just need to prove the training, prove the calories, and then from that point, I literally, it's no going back sort of thing. Um, so yeah, I don't know if I've answered the question or not, to be honest.
Last question then, mate.
Yeah.
I want to quickly discuss your relationship with alcohol and how that's changed because that's something which a lot of people will, like you said before, hide behind really. It's
Yeah.
something that a lot of people will relate to as well. So what was your relationship with alcohol before you started working on yourself?
My relationship, it just wasn't healthy, mate. So we'll start off right until, so actually, no, we won't bother going through. I think for the majority of people in the UK, for whatever reason, we just like to have a drink, especially our generation, 90s kids. But yeah, moving forward into, like, I was just sort of the guy, like, even before COVID, Friday night, go for a couple of drinks. That turns into an all-nighter. Then it's Saturday, Sunday. The family life had sort of calmed down, but even then, it was like there was always an excuse. Like we had conversations, like you're at a, and it sounds crazy now, but so many people do it. Like you're at a birthday party. Like why do you need a pint? Or you've gone for a meal. Why do you need a pint? There was always like a crate in the house. So even if I wasn't necessarily like getting on it or having like a day session, there was always alcohol involved. I don't think there was many weeks where I didn't have alcohol. Um, used to binge drink quite a lot. Any event, so I do music, any event, whether it was a gig, whether I'm going to support someone to enjoy the night, I felt like I needed a drink. That would cause problems for me in the week. Do you know what I mean? I work all week, so if I've been out tonight, Thursday morning, I'm already starting off on a downer. But the biggest thing for me, there was quite a few occasions where I've been on a night out, drunk too much, and then the next day it would affect. My daughter she's up at 6, she wants to go. Dad's still hungover. Um, so yeah, that was my relationship with alcohol. Now it's completely changed. I can go weeks without it. Um, there's occasions where I'll choose not to drink alcohol. I've made a rule to myself when I'm with my daughter, I don't touch it at all. Doesn't matter what the occasion is. And yeah, I just have a really healthy relationship with it. I can go out on a Saturday night, I can go out with the boys. I can go out on a date night. I'll choose whether I drink or not. There's just a balance. And within a month, there'll always be weeks where I don't touch it. So there's just a nice balance. Whereas before, it was always around. There didn't really seem to be a distinction between days where you actually no, that makes me sound like alcoholic. Let me stop. But yeah. Like a prime example. Look at the weather that we're in now, right? So the old me before I started, even before this year, the old me would like on lunch now. I wouldn't get pissed or anything, but I'd be having a pint in the garden, or you'd go to the beer garden after work. Like I haven't got mine, I'd go to the beer garden. But yeah, that's just not. I want to do that now. I would save it for maybe like a one-off occasion, or maybe a couple of times in the month. It wouldn't be an everyday thing because the weather's good. Yeah. So I think my biggest change in relation in it's a not necessarily a privilege, but it's something that I pick and choose when I can enhance the situation, or may not even enhance the situation. I might just do it because I enjoy it. Similar to sweet stuff, it's not like I'm not just tanning sweets every day because I could, but I know like it'll mess me up in the long run. It's the same with alcohol. There'll be times when I'll drink, but more often than not, I don't. And it's just a nice balance, which I haven't had before.
Class, mate. Good. So what's been the biggest contributor to that change then? Like, so for
Oh,
someone watching, they might be thinking, oh, I get where he was at because I'm like that. But
mhm.
you're now so far away from that. For people watching, they might be almost a bit like out of reach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's been the catalyst to help facilitate that change? Like, why don't you just go back to how you were drinking?
The biggest catalyst for me was doing this because a lot of people, family members, best friends, they don't have anyone who's pushing them to do something like extraordinary. Some people giving up alcohol isn't extraordinary, but people have had it in their lives constantly. It was so. It wasn't even like on my mind to do it. But you were the sort of one who said, you know what, Dave, I see like you're doing pretty well in all areas, but the thing that seems to be letting you down is alcohol, and like you'll make excuses for it, but is this something now we can just like cut out and see how better your life is? See if it works or if it doesn't. And once I saw the benefits and I saw that I was able to stay without it for long periods of time, to be honest, I could have completely just gone teetotal, but I wanted life to be a bit more about balance rather than just I wanted to be more in control and say I can choose when I have it rather than just being like, no, I'm not off it. So to answer your question, it was really this healthy lifestyle that I'm living that solidified it. Because if I wasn't so regimented and structured and disciplined in like my lifestyle and how I want it to be in terms of like health mentally, then I wouldn't have sustained that. So it's really just being part of this group because you start off in it to achieve a goal. Your goal might be look shredded, just be stronger, lose fat, whatever it may be. But over the course of the time, if you stick with it, actually like improves your life and your lifestyle changes into a person who lives healthily, whether that's mentally, physically, or all encompassing. And I think once I made that transition,
Mm.
like alcohol wasn't really part of it. It was just something that can live alongside it. But yeah,
All right, mate. Last
exactly.
question then, which is to
Mm-hmm.
anyone on the fence that is sat there thinking, ah, you know what, I should really start working on myself just like Dave, should really start following in his footsteps, but it's going to be hard work, can't be asked, I'm comfortable, yada, yada, yada. What would you say to them?
I would say to him, just do it. Um, you're going to vastly, but what you've had from this conversation, it only just scratched the surface. You're going to vastly improve your life. If there's any area in your life that you're not happy with, just give this a go. Because mentally you're going to be better. physically you're going to be better, and you're going to be better internally, you're going to be more healthier. So if all three of those things are working in tandem, how is your life not going to get better? You know, and it's like people have a hard time. Like if you're in a certain place now, you can't really see yourself past that place. Like honestly, you do something like this, and things are just limitless. Like there's nothing off the table. So yeah, like, I'd encourage people just to give it a go all in, and then see what can be achieved. Because there's nothing that's not unachievable. Like for me, as I say, like this sort of shape, I'd always put it off to people who do this. It was similar boat to UK. Like this is their like they live fitness. I didn't think like an average person could get anywhere close to that. And like sort of the lifestyle that we're living now, I thought that was, and then once you get to a certain place in life, a certain age, or you get a family, you can't access that, and that's all bullshit. Like you can live however you want to live. So if you're unhappy, or you just wanna, you're fine where you are, you're too comfortable, I'd say give this a go. Like what's the worst that can happen? You're only going to be in a better place than what you were.
Very good advice, mate.
Proof's
Very
in the
good
pudding.
advice.
Like, look at me, any of your clients, mate, whatever level they're at, they've all improved since, you know.
Yeah.
What's that saying? People lie, numbers don't. Like, it's just,
People lie, numbers don't. I
yeah,
like that one. I've never heard of that.
like you could disregard everything I've said, but just look at my before and afters, and you'll see
Yeah.
my life's better.
Love you, pal. Love it.